All right, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Wanted to get you up to date on the forecast as we do have rain and storms that will be possible this afternoon. Definitely not a washout if you have any plans today, but we will have more rain and storms roll in tonight. Now, last night we ended up not having any fuel for thunderstorms. Our instability, which is what fuels storms, stayed very low. So it was really just rain. That unfortunately does change today and into tonight. And we'll talk about why here over the next couple of minutes and, of course, get you ready for the back half of your long holiday weekend and the upcoming week ahead. So what's happening is this front that's been stalled to our south is now starting to lift a little further north. That is helping usher in more moisture. So the humidity is on the rise today. It will feel a little more muggy. That'll also promote partly to mostly cloudy skies through the day today and allow for scattered storms to develop, very summer-like in nature, that pop up with the heat of the day. But we also have another thunderstorm complex out to our west, and that will ride along this front very similar to yesterday and roll in later this evening. Now, Monday and Tuesday, a wedge is going to try to build in on top of this already very tricky weather pattern with these kind of rogue clusters of storms that models already struggle with. Now we're going to add a wedge on top of that, which models also struggle with in late spring because they're not necessarily super common this time of year. So just know that this forecast is definitely going to need a little bit of tweaking over the next couple of days in terms of temperatures, timing with rain, coverage of rain. But it does look like Tuesday is still a first alert weather day, as we will have the most widespread chance for showers and storms. But with that wedge in place, especially Tuesday, it'll be a lot cooler, might feel a little kind of showery or drizzly outside on Tuesday. Just overall not a nice day Tuesday. And we're going to stay unsettled this entire week. So you'll definitely need the umbrella. Just past 10 o'clock here, here's a look at satellite and radar. So there's that front that is now to our north. If you remember yesterday, that was well down to our south, down towards like the Florida-Georgia line yesterday. Cluster of thunderstorms out to our west that is currently trying to push into parts of, it looks like, Kentucky and parts of northern Arkansas as well right now. A few showers down in central Georgia and along the coast, but we are dry right now. And that's how we should be for most of the day today. Let's take you through the models again. Out west, that cluster of storms, that moves in later tonight. But until then, we just simply have the heat of the day thunderstorms that we'll have to deal with. We call them pulse thunderstorms because they pulse up and kind of rain themselves out. So here's a look at 2 o'clock. If you have any plans this afternoon, I know a lot of you probably trying to get to the pool today. Maybe you're heading to the lake, headed to the Braves game. We have the Jazz Fest back again this afternoon at 1 o'clock. That's when it kicks off in Piedmont Park. An isolated storm can't be completely ruled out. So the best rule of thumb, we talked about this yesterday, when thunder roars, head indoors. While it's not going to be a washout, you just need to be really careful. That's a good thing to start practicing with the unofficial start of summer as we head into summertime, because we get those afternoon thunderstorms every single day. So again, around 2 o'clock, an isolated storm could develop, and we'll hold on to a chance for at least an isolated thunderstorm through the early evening. However, that cluster of storms moves in after sunset tonight, around and after sunset, I should say. Around 8 o'clock, we'll start to look in far northwest Georgia up towards Dade and Chattooga and Whitfield counties. And then going into the overnight hours, those showers and storms will kind of take over North Georgia and continue through the overnight hours, maybe into the early morning commute tomorrow. So if you're like a 4 or 5 a.m. commuter, just know if you do have to work tomorrow, I know a lot of you are off for the Memorial Day holiday, but if you do have to get up and at it early tomorrow morning, just know that showers and thunderstorms will still be possible. Now, unlike yesterday, with that moisture returning in the heat of the day, those two ingredients will allow for that fuel for storms to be higher through the day today. So any storms that develop through the afternoon could carry heavy rain, frequent lightning, maybe some gusty wind. And then I do think we have a better chance at seeing an isolated severe storm overnight tonight because we will still have that fuel for storms even after the sun sets tonight. So we'll be looking at damaging straight line winds upwards of 60 miles per hour, maybe even some hail as well. And we could have some hail that's upwards of an inch in diameter. So that'd be quarter-sized hail possible in some of these storms that move in. But by and large, the wind threat will be the greatest. Not going to be a widespread wind threat, but just know we will have that chance for maybe an isolated severe storm overnight tonight while you are sleeping. So have that First Alert Weather app handy. Good tool to have if you wake up to loud storms overnight and you want to check what's going on. That First Alert Weather app will be a great tool for that. By 9 a.m., we're mostly dry with the exception of areas north of the city up into the mountains. So Lake Burton, Lake Blue Ridge, again, the mountain areas. Showers will be possible through the late morning hours, and then we'll dry out through the middle of the day for the most part tomorrow. 84 degrees for a high in Atlanta, a little cooler north of the city. You'll be in the 70s all weekend north and east of the city. So from Gainesville all the way up into Blue Ridge, up into Clay County, North Carolina, Towns, Union, Rabun County, you get the picture. You're topping out in the low to mid 70s this weekend. So a little on the cool side for the unofficial start of summer weekend, but not half bad. 84 degrees again in the city of Atlanta with scattered afternoon storms tomorrow. So taking you through First Alert Futurecast here. Here's a look at 8 o'clock. Again, showers still continuing north of the city for some of our popular lakes and up into the mountains, but most of the afternoon looks dry. Now, similar to today, we could have a few isolated storms develop in the afternoon just with the heat of the day with that moisture in place. But the thing about that cluster of storms overnight into the early morning, that'll kind of dry us out and wipe away some of our fuel for storms for a couple of hours. So I think after lunchtime tomorrow, first we'll look in the mountains because unfortunately the mountains being what they are, they kind of add a little extra lift just naturally. So if you had plans up in the mountains or, again, around Lake Burton, Lake Blue Ridge tomorrow, just know after lunchtime, you'll want to be keeping your eyes to the skies, and then a few isolated storms will be possible. This latest model run showing mostly dry conditions at 6 o'clock tomorrow. I don't think that's going to be completely valid, but if you have any barbecue or grilling plans tomorrow afternoon and evening, have a backup indoor plan just in case some of those post thunderstorms start to develop, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a washout like we were seeing yesterday. Looks like the most widespread chance for rain will be after sunset, which has been a theme lately. Weather is kind of cyclical in that way sometimes, and it does look like after sunset will be the best chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, so naturally that won't have a big impact on your day. That'll impact when you're probably trying to go back to sleep and wind down for the work week ahead. And sometimes rain and storms can kind of help that, right? So Tuesday, still a first alert weather day. Scattered storms still looking likely. It looks like we'll start the morning with a chance for some showers. Most widespread chance for rain and storms on the back half of the day. But a wedge is going to be building in. Remember, we were talking about that. So it's probably going to be kind of a gloomy, cloudy day, maybe a little showery as that wedge is building in. Moisture is going to try to overrun that and essentially give us kind of a showery, gross day, for a lack of better words. 70s, though, is the temperature in the city of Atlanta. Take a look at this. Our models are spitting out that if you are north and east of the city, from Athens to Gainesville, Helen, Ellijay, Canton, you could top out in the low to mid 60s on Tuesday. And we're heading into June. Okay, so that's very cool for this time of year. Our average high is in the low 80s, and that wedge is going to hold temperatures abnormally chilly. Now, again, models struggle with the wedge, so this could be a little dramatic right now, but 70s for Atlanta and areas southwest, north of the city, 60s are very well a possibility through the afternoon. After that, we're going to be unsettled. These weather systems that have been trying to push through the area are going to just stall across the southeast. We'll hold on to about a 40% coverage of showers and storms each day. Friday is a little bit of a question mark. We have two kind of options. We either have a weather system come and completely dry us out, and we're dry by the afternoon, or it slows down and scattered storms continue into the evening. So we'll hold on to that 40% chance for rain right now. Timing still to be determined, but Saturday we will finally start to dry out, and the weekend is trending much drier than this upcoming week. Altogether, we could pick up a total of 1 to 2.5 inches of rain area-wide with some isolated totals higher. So our rainy stretch of weather continues. We are definitely not lacking in the rainfall department. All right, everyone, if you have any plans this Memorial Day weekend, again, just make sure you're staying weather aware. Definitely not going to be a washout, but you don't want to be outside, especially on the water when thunderstorms start to develop. And with that humidity back in play, not only will you want to stay hydrated, but those pulse afternoon thunderstorms could start to pop up. So you just want to be extra careful if those do start to develop. You don't want to be out and about when those start to rain down, and, of course, lightning, really, really dangerous. So with those pulse thunderstorms possible this afternoon and tomorrow, just make sure you're being extra aware of the weather if you're planning on spending some time outside. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful day today. Have a safe back half of your Memorial Day weekend, and we'll catch you here next time.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.